right about the time I hit the go live button, my computer internet said, yeah, no, not gonna do it, can't make me. So I had to fix that real quick before we could get started. So I have a fun card today. I wanted to give you another little look at the Eden's Garden stamp set and bundle and the Ever Eden DSP. And I want to do that because we are barreling up to November when you will be able to get this yourself. So let me go ahead and just do a quick, there we go. Hey, Rosie, how are you? Appreciate you joining. Now, this is a fun fold that all of a sudden has been like everywhere, all over the place. Everybody's been doing this arrow fold, and so I thought I had better do it. And this seemed like a really good opportunity because it gives you a great chance to show off pretty DSP. Hey, Amy, appreciate you joining. So it looks like it has an arrow on the front, which I don't know, I'm guessing is probably why they call it an arrow fun fold, not really sure. But you can see when you open it up, you have a spot for an inside sentiment, and I have used all Eden's Garden all the time. And I've got some of these gorgeous garden gems. Aren't they so pretty? They come in cherry cobbler and soft succulent, and they're beautiful. The cherry cobblers are red. Duh. What I meant to say is round. Hello. Hey, Linda. Hey, Bob. Hi, Roxanne and Sylvia and Marcia and Angie. Appreciate y'all joining me. So these are very pretty, and they will be part of the suite when this comes active. You'll be able to get it in November. It's an early release from the January to June 2021 mini catalog, or 2022. Gosh, look at me trying to go back a year. Let's not do 2021 again. All those in favor, say aye. Yeah, we're not doing 2021 again. So anyway, there it is. That's the card, and it fits nicely in a regular A2 size envelope, which is handy. Obviously, this is the Eden's Garden, and it is a beautiful stamp set, and it has Eden dies that go with it that make beautiful leafy frames and a cool edgelet. We're going to just use this and this today and this. So basically, we're using half of the die set. All right, let's get started. Everything will be on my blog tomorrow, so you do not even need to take notes unless you just love my words so much that you want to keep them for posterity. Hey, Mommy Roo. Appreciate you joining, and so happy to see you. Farmington, is that New Mexico? Farmington, New Mexico? We used to live in that general vicinity. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I obviously missed part of the conversation. Okay, so we're going to start with a basic 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. This is Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to start by scoring it at 4 1/4. So pretty normal so far. And now I'm going to put this away. Put this away. Hey, Brooke. Hello, Melissa. Okay, now I'm going to make a few marks, and you're probably going to have a little trouble seeing these. Don't worry, I will have a template for you tomorrow. But I'm going to use a pencil, and basically what I'm going to do is I am going to go up the short side, this 4 1/4 side. I'm going to make a mark at the 2 1/8 inch mark. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to turn this over because otherwise my brain and I are going to have a little disconnect because that's just how I roll. It has to be exactly right or I can't do it. So I'm just going to mark 2 1/8, and then I'll do the same exact thing on the other side. Hey, Bree. All right, so 2 1/8. And then I'm going to make a mark along the short side, and I'm going to cut it in half, essentially. Okay, so it's going to be 2 3/8 over, which is half of 5 1/2, right? Okay. So 2 3/8. Wait, let me think about that. 2 5/8, right? That's more like it. That's more like it. Look at that. I put 2 3/8 on my cheat sheet, and that would have been a disaster. And I'd have been sitting here going, what in the world? So let's just do a little math. 2 1/2 is half of 5, and another half, another quarter, 2 1/2, 2 3/4. My goodness, me and my math skills. See, this is why they told you to, you know what? I'm going to check on something real quick here. Because all of a sudden my brain said, say what now? Yeah, this is supposed to be 5 1/4. So let me fix it. Hey, aren't we starting out great? Doing good, aren't we? Yeah. Let's try that again. So I'll mark my 2 1/8. Yeah. It's boding well, isn't it? Okay, so 2 1/8 up this side. And then we've got 5 1/4. So 2 1/2 plus 1/8. There we go. 2 5/8. Now we got a half. This ought to work now. In theory, this is all going to work. It's so going to work. It is going to work now, right? Let me just... Well, no, something is already wrong. Something is wrong, people. Something is wrong. Hang on. I'm going to just start all fresh. Just starting over. Pretend like you never saw anything happen right there, okay? So let's talk about how your day's going since I'm regrouping right now. No, my center score is not going to be right because none of this is correct right now. Because I am messing it up as we go. I'd like to say it's because I have been behind all morning, but in fact, I think it's because I've been ahead all morning. That is what I'm more inclined to think. So you're gonna give me a mulligan, right? So we want a piece that is, goodness gracious, and also sakes alive. We're gonna go, it's just a regular card base, Mary. Don't be a dingbat. Don't be a dingbat. Do what you know to do. Gosh. You know what happens when you second guess yourself? It doesn't work out because yourself says, I'm messing with you, girl. I was messing with you, girl. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. Mulligan. Goodness gracious. Anyway. Public math is never a good thing. So we've got 5 1/2. So we got 2 1/2 1/4. So 2 3/4, right? Somebody tell me that 2 3/4 is half of 5 1/2. I know it is. Okay, there we go. Now, let's try that again. Here we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cutting blade out of the way because as things are going right at this instant in time, I'm just as likely to cut it as score it. What I'm basically going to do is I'm going to score from the 2 1/8 mark to the center point, and then from the center score, which was at 4 1/4, to the center point. And then I'm going to do it again on this side. And all you have to do that is put that little mark that you made right in the channel. And then you can kind of just twist the cardstock to put the center line mark in the channel as well. And then be sure you're using the scoring blade, just saying. We'll score like that, and then I'm going to put the center score line in, and again, put the little mark right there, okay? So, I mean, this just, it isn't the rocket science that I've been making it out to be, okay? It's just not. So then we'll put this center right in the scoring line and the center score line there. And one more time, just like this. Okay? Okay. Now, before I fold that, I've got two other pieces. We're going to use a piece of the Ever Eden DSP and a piece of Whisper White. And these are, God willing, 5 1/4. These are 4 by 5 1/4. And so what I'm going to do is go 2 3/8 across the bottom and just make a little mark right there. What in the world? Mary, your brain has gone. Y'all, I do know how to do math. I truly do. Okay, 5 1/2 plus an 8. There we go. 2 5/8. And we'll do the same here. Mary is awesome. Yeah, yeah, okay. Mary is apparently having a Monday on a Thursday. Okay, 2 5/8. Now this one, these I'm actually going to cut. All right, so I will use my cutting blade and I will use it with impunity. So I'm just going to put this corner up in the top and that little mark that I just made in the channel. And basically all I'm doing here is cutting a couple of triangles like that. And then we'll flip it and do the same on this side. And don't freak right here because right now it looks totally not right, but it's okay. And we're going to hang on to these pieces. And we'll do the exact same with the DSP. I do cheat all the time. My engineer brain is not functioning today. I don't know. Actually, I brought my card making brain, and my engineering brain apparently has taken the day off. So this is the exact same cut, just on the basic white. So hopefully it's correct, because if not, I've done it wrong twice, which is awesome. Okay, and there we go. Whew, looks about right, and we'll keep that. Now these two are extra. You could use them, but we're not gonna. Can't make me. Not gonna do it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and make some folds, and I'm going to fold the one that the longer fold is going to be a valley, and you're going to want to use your bone folder. I use a calculator on my math test. I mean, come on, man. What is this? 1970? Okay. And then we'll fold the other one the other way. And so basically you're making what looks like a coat lapel, right? But we're not. It's an arrow. Hello. It is an arrow. Okay. And then we're going to fold this like so. Okay. So let's go ahead and fold that down and give it a little rubber like that. And then we have that. And there is our card base. So now we're going to use a little bit of liquid glue to get everything adhered in place. I like the liquid glue because it just gives you a little more, you know, wiggle. But that's just me. If you prefer to use Stampin' Seal, you certainly can. But I'm going to use the liquid glue, and I'm going to put it just on the inside of this little arrow doohickey right here. Like that. And then we're going to lay it down and give it a press. And the liquid glue is very good adhesive, right? But you do have to give it a little second to get the memo that it's time to adhere, which is actually a good thing if you've made a mess or made a mistake. And then we'll just do the other side like this. You can see I'm not really using much. You really don't need a whole lot, and it's going to kind of ooze into position. Give it a good burnish. And then we want to glue these little wingies down. That's a technical term. You're welcome to use it, but I would prefer it if you joined Stampin' Up! Before you actually use that technical term. Now to do this, I only want liquid glue in this section of this triangle. So I'm kind of going to just eyeball that. And I don't need to get right up to the edge because it'll squish out, which is both a good and a bad thing. The advantage of using the darker DSP is that you can see where things are going with the glue. And then we'll just give that a little adherence, a little burnish, a little rub-a-lub. Okay, and then we'll do the same over here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where that edge is. You could, if you wanted, put that edge down and then mark with a pencil, but gosh, that guarantees I don't mess up, and who wants that? Nobody wants that. It's way more fun if I screw this up, right? All right, there we go. And now we have created our arrow card. Bing, bada bang, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere my triangles on. Now, this is not, there's only really one way this can go, okay? Now, you really could, there's no reason you couldn't use the other side. That might actually be kind of fun. You could do like that, or you could do like this, or you could do like we're gonna do, which is all the same color. Now, let me tell you what, this triangle and this triangle are not perfectly symmetrical with each other. It's a math thing. You really can't do it. It's a thingy-wingy, wingy thingy. thing like that. All right. So what I want you to do is we're gonna cover this section of this arrow with our decoration like that. So we're gonna make this portion look correct, look symmetrical. And we're gonna do that with our carefully calibrated Mark 1 eyeball. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. If I make the top and these sides be straight, you can see it isn't quite exactly right down here. All right, but that's okay. We're still going to use it. We're going to cover that up and it'll be just fine. All right, so again with the liquid glue, and again, if you prefer to use Stampin' Seal, you absolutely can do that. I am a liquid glue girl, especially when it comes to doing anything associated with the fun fold. All right. Now, the other thing you may notice is that I'm not doing a mat. You could probably try to do a mat, but that was escaping my brain today and this week. So, no, I didn't. Now, we're going to take these triangles and adhere them to the back of the card, and we're going to do it with, again, our carefully calibrated Mark 1 eyeball and some liquid glue. So, you know, we all know what the distance between the DSP and the edge of the cardstock ought to look like, right? We've done it so many times. Now I am going to make sure that this is the piece that goes there, and it is. We've done it so many times that we just know what it looks like. So basically I'm making this little edge and this little edge be like normal. Okay, normal makes sense to you? And then we'll do the same over here, and we'll be ready to roll. We're going to do our inner liner real quick like a bunny here, and you'll see how that's going to go. And then we'll decorate the front like that. Okay, so then again, I'm just making the edges line up correctly, like so. And then when you close the front, you get that nice little continuous DSP with the pretty little arrow. Now the white piece is going to fit in just like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you. We're going to go ahead and put our sentiment in. It's a dingy-wingy thingy. That's what it is. It's a dingy-wingy thingy. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick on these distinctive stamps like this, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to stamp this in the middle of this triangle, and then I'm going to put a sentiment over the top. So I need to know how dark I want this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up. This is soft succulent. Then I'm going to take a sponge dauber and I'm going to daub all over it. That really helps these distinctive stamps look better. Okay, look more realistic and pretty. Okay, like so. And then I'll stamp it once. And then I'm going to dab again. And why am I doing that? Because I'm doing the equivalent of stamping off once. Okay? And then I'm going to stamp again. And then over the top of that will go my sentiment. Why am I showing you this? Because this is a good thing to remember as you're designing, right? When you want to do things where you're layering images and sentiments, it's helpful to use a piece of scrap paper so that you can see how it's going to look. Because when I first did this, I thought, well, I'll just stamp it straight in soft succulent and then go over the top with my sentiment. And that's okay, but I wanted there to be a little more contrast between the sentiment and the image. And so if I stamp off once, then I can see that that is how I like it. Okay, so it gives you an opportunity to practice some design things without using your actual cardstock and DSP. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to ink my floral again. Yes, the gems are from that, and they are called garden gems from the Eden's Garden set. Okay, so I have inked up with my soft succulent, and then I am pat, pat, tap, 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 tapping with my sponge dauber that also has some soft succulent on it. Right now it's got mostly soft succulent from tapping it up off of the stamp set. And then I'm going to stamp it once, And then I'm just going to stamp again. I'm not re-inking the stamp. I put a little more ink on the dauber, just like that. And then I'm going to stamp it right in the center of my triangle, like that. Okay. And then I'll get my sentiment back out and stamp that over the top. I love this sentiment. My heart is tied to yours. Tug if you need anything. Hard to beat that as a friendly sentiment to somebody who needs that. Dingy wingy thingy in her yes, my dingy wingy thingies. All right, and then we'll just use some liquid glue and put this on the inside of the card. All right, so now when you see the replay, you'll know. Just fast forward past like the first 3 minutes because I lost my brain. All right, and we will adhere that in. And once again, I'm just eyeballing those distances like so. Okay, and then this can sit for a second while we make our front decorations. Okay, now I stamped Dear Friend, How Are You? Which is also a sentiment. It's in Evening Evergreen on a piece of basic white, and then I cut it with a circle layering die. And I have a piece of the gold metallic specialty paper, which is in the gold, rose gold and gold set, and that's going to be its mat. Before I do that, I'm going to ink up and stamp this little floral over the top. So I'm going to ink it, stamp it off once, and then stamp over the top like that. Remember, you're almost always going to want to stamp off once if you stamp over a sentiment, okay? That's just me, but that's what I would be planning to do. And then we'll use a little bit of liquid glue to adhere this to that foil, that metallic gold paper. Okay, and then that can set. Now, I also used one of the Eden dies, this smaller frame, to cut another piece of the same gold metallic specialty paper. And I used the small leaf die to do 2 Evening Evergreens. And then I used the what is really a sentiment label die to make this piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to layer this like so. And then the sentiment will go over the top, and it's going to have some leaves. Let me show you what I did with this frame, which I just threw away. So I wanted some pieces of leaf that looked, hey Suzanne, don't watch the whole beginning. Just scrub through about the first 3 minutes because I just messed it up. I like how these little leaves right here look like the leaves in the DSP. So what I did is I made the frame, and then I'm just going to take my skizzers that, you know, because it's the way it's going, there it is, have disappeared. And I'm just going to trim a few little sprigs, okay? And you can see some places that kind of make sense. You don't want like harsh ends, so, you know, try to make something that's a little bit spriggish, not like it's been cut off of something. So there's one, and I need 4. And they don't all have to be the same length because you can kind of vary them by how you stack them. So there's 2, and then let's say this one is going to be 3. Now, you could also do the same thing with this larger frame, but I really like the more delicate ones for this particular card because of the way the gold foiling is in the DSP. Alrighty, and then we'll do that like so. Okay, and we're just going to use those. I'll do like that and trim this off up here. There we go. All right, so now we're just going to stack these things up and make a very pretty thing. It's going to be so pretty, and it will make you want to sing. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. Okay, so we're just going to center that up And then center the die over the top, and we'll have our leaves stuck in around. All right? Easy, and might I even say, it's peasy. Easy and peasy. Righto. Just a little liquid glue to adhere that, just kind of making sure it's equal on either side. And then we're going to have a leaf and a couple of lifts here like so. Get, go, be gone, leaf, be gone. Well, I had some interesting news from my friend today that I didn't know about until today. Her black lab had her puppies. I didn't know it was going to happen so quickly, but it did. And she had 10. Sadly, they lost one. He just didn't do well. But now they have 9 lovely little Labrador Retriever puppies. Some blacks and some yellows and a couple of red fox, which is another color of lab that I did not know about. Okay, so that's how that's going to look. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little secret. I'm going to put that block right there just so that it will hold that arrow down. Okay? Makes it a little easier to deal with life. I'm going to pick this whole mess up and I'm going to start putting some liquid glue on it. Like so. And it's not going to catch all of them, but it'll catch some. And you'll be able to use it to put it right back in place, just like that. All right. This one needs a little more. You can tell because it's sitting up going, give me a little more glue, ma'am. Please, ma'am, may I have some more glue? You know the problem with seeing just enough of a movie here and there to know random movie lines and book lines. Please, sir, may I have another? Yay, Angie, you do need to pre-order. You really, really want it. It's beautiful. Okay. And then we'll do the same with the other one. And then I'm going to get busy with some of those garden gems because they are beautiful and I love them a lot. We'll put that there like so. Use the back end of our Twizzlers. Dun, 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 dun. This one wants a little more glue. Now, obviously, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Why will I say it again, you ask? Because it bears repeating. I would have, when I was initially designing, I actually did. Once I got it to where my brain said, yep, that's it right there, I took a picture of it so that I could recreate it, okay? Now we'll take some more liquid glue and adhere this like so. And at this point, you do kind of want to make sure it's straight. I'm going to give this a little tug, pull it out there like so, just so it's got a little more coverage. We'll do the same with this one. Another advantage to the glue versus a glue dot is that you still have a little time to play. And then we go like that. Okay. Now, let's get us some pretty bling. Hey, Charlotte. Appreciate you joining. I'm going to use, I don't want the cherry cobbler on here. That just wouldn't even be fitting. It just wouldn't even be fitting. So I'm going to take a couple of these soft succulents. I'm going to put one right there. I love these. I don't always like the ones that are kind of funny shapes, but these are really elegant looking. Put like that. And then I think we'll put one up here like so. All right, and because, did I mention I love them? I really, really do. I'm going to go ahead and put one on the inside. Never let anybody tell you you can't have a gem on the inside of your card, people. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. So there is your arrow card already. And now we're going to go ahead and get our envelope decorated and we'll be done. I'm going to stamp in soft succulent. What's the middle part? A fish called Wanda. There you go. Thanks, Shirley. All right, I'm just going to stamp this leaf in soft succulent and put a little more of the DSP on the envelope flap. Because why? Because no naked envelopes. or actually I should say no naked envelopes, because that is the more correct pronunciation. Because, you know, there's a correct pronunciation for hashtags. Hashtags, no naked envelopes. And then we'll put this on and commence to doing the world's easiest fussy cutting. Although you're welcome to take credit for fussy cutting your frame apart if you'd like to. If you need fussy cutting credentials, you are welcome to call it that, because technically you do have scissors and you are cutting, and it could be considered a little fussy. Therefore, you can take that as partial credit. There we go. And there you know now how to do the current Buzz Fun Fold trend, the arrow card, with the gorgeous Eden's Garden bundle, which you will be able to get starting the beginning of November. And you may or may not be able to purchase a special bundle from me very, very soon. I'm just throwing that out there as like a little teaser for you. Okay, I appreciate you spending part of your Thursday with me. I hope I will see you on Saturday. Saturday. Okay, sorry, I'm done. All right, thanks guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Saturday. Ta!